We got streams to watch. Want awesome Pokemon experiences and fails live? Follow me with notifications on over on Twitch to join me and others on great Pokemon adventures. I also have a Pokemon Crystal randomized Nuzlocke over on Mystical Gaming going on. Links will be in the description below. Well, we've finally reached the penultimate video related to gym leaders in the Pokemon franchise. We've gone through every other generation's 8 leaders, and this recently handled all the Elite Fours. So now it's time we stop in Kalos and go through our penultimate spot. So let's sit back and take a look at the gym leaders from X and Y from weakest to strongest. We're going to be starting off now with the weakest of the leaders in Kalos, which is without a doubt the first leader you end up facing, Viola. This has been a majorly recurring theme as we've ranked the leaders from weakest to strongest, seeing the first leader in a region appearing right as the weakest. Now, that wasn't exactly planned to be like that, but it just continues ending up this way. Viola has only 2 Pokemon on her team, and her specialty is of course to worsen the games. The bug typing has quite a few good Pokemon in it, but you're not really going to find a gym leader at the start of the game that actually has one of those. The team that Viola has is a level 10 Surskit and a level 12 Vivillon, and I will give credit where it's due, Vivillon can be a good Pokemon under certain circumstances. However, at level 12, that is not the case at all. It's using Tackle and Infestation as its 2 moves, and for a Pokemon with base 90 special attack, that is certainly not the best way to take advantage of it. Infestation is also just a 20 base power move, and boy that's not good. Surskit is no better, as having lowly moves like Quick Attack and Bubble. Previous first gym leaders have usually had at least one Pokemon that served as some sort of real challenge, like Roxanne with Nose Pass and Rook with Cranidos. But this time, it just isn't any sort of challenge. Brock and the trio from Black and White are still probably a little worse than Viola, but when you can just get your hands on a Fletchling, you'll immediately find yourself a Peck at level 10, and that's really all you'll need to win this battle. This next one might be a bit of a surprise to you guys, as I don't think something like this has actually happened on any of the rankings prior. We followed the first gym leader being the weakest with the second weakest, which just so happens to be the final gym leader in the Kalos region, Wulfric. If you guys remember, when I ranked the typings weakest to strongest, I settled on the bug and ice typings being at the bottom of the barrel. And so the fact that they're following each other back to back in this ranking shouldn't be too surprising really. His team is headlined by a level 59 Avalugg, and while that is a massively defensive Pokemon with a few decent moves like Curse, Avalanche, and Gyro Ball, it's just not that great in the grand scheme of things. For instance, if you chose Fennekin as your starter, Delphox will absolutely tear through this team with reckless abandon. Really, if you bring in any special attacking fire type, you're going to destroy Wulfric. His other 2 Pokemon, Abomasnow and Cryogonal, are not explosively great either. I will give Cryogonal the benefit of the doubt though, that it is capable of doing some damage in battle with its 135 base special defense. So it's capable of taking those special hits and causing you to turn to possibly some strong physical rock or fighting type moves. Wulfric will also have the Hail on his side, and his Pokemon can make good usage of it. But again, if you enter this battle with a special attacking fire type and a powerful fighting type, you're going to easily drop him. We move back to an earlier gym leader now, the second in the region and the only gym leader to ever use all the region's fossil Pokemon, Grant. Grant's team is a massive step up from Viola's, both his Zamora and Tyrant are level 25, which is a full 13 more than Viola's Vivillon. Now, his team can absolutely be dropped by fighting types, and there are quite a few that you can get your hands on before this battle. For instance, Pancham, Mienfoo, and Machop are all available on the points leading up to this gym battle. And for a Mora, hitting it with a fighting type attack, that will absolutely take it out. Honestly, you'll want to try and get a Mora out of the picture quickly, as it is a very threatening Pokemon with its ability Refrigerate. Its takedown is going to be a horrible thing to deal with when it turns into an ice type move and sees a stab boost. The other Pokemon Grant has on his side is a Tyrant, which isn't necessarily the same sort of challenge that a Mora is, but is a small challenge no less. Tyrant makes usage of the ability Strong Jaw, and has Bite on its set to make usage of that ability. Fighting type moves are only going to be normally super effective against it, instead of the 4 times weakness like with the Mora. And its base 77 defense might help with taking a few hits, and then coming back at you with an 89 base attack. This is still a rather easy battle at its core, but without using a fighting type, you probably won't have as easy of a time as you could. So we're going to round out the weaker half of the list with the old man himself, Ramos. He's a master of the grass typing, and he actually just barely missed out being in the stronger half of the list. I had a hard time deciding just where to put him, because I thought he actually posted a bigger threat than people assume when they look at him. But unfortunately, he still just missed out. You see, Ramos's team is based around Grass Knot, a special type move that is basically the grass type version of Low Kick. This can go either way, rather simply for you in a battle or ruin your day. It all depends on how your team is built. Weepinbell and Go-Goat are great special attackers, so they can make good usage of Grass Knot, and the ability to poison the opponents makes Weepinbell a real threat. Actually, this whole team has Pokemon that fill certain niches. Weeping Bell can poison you, Jumpluff will make use of acrobatics and Leech Seed, and finally Go-Goat can try to roll through you as a mixed attacker. Essentially, your best bet to defeat Ramos is to get your hands on a great fire type. And I may suggest Charmeleon is a great option against Ramos and his team, as well as Fletchinder. As a matter of fact, Fletchinder might be the best possible Pokemon you could bring into this battle, as it will resist Grass Knot extremely well. But it'll be at the mercy of acrobatics and Go-Goat's takedown, as well as the poison gimmick Weeping Bell has. Like I said before, there is a lot of what if that goes into a battle with Ramos, due to the options he actually has as your opponent. But going into battle with a fire type, or even better a flying type, will make it very easy for you to tear through him. Starting off the stronger half of the rankings is the always popular Shallow City gym leader, Karina. Boy, if Karina had just used one of those Lucarios she showed off in her appearances throughout the X and Y story, she could have been very well the strongest leader in the region. Sadly though, she does not, and instead turns to a team of Machoke, Mienfoo, and Hawlucha. So like I mentioned with Ramos, I was on the fence about where he and Karina should be on the list, swapping them a few times until I eventually settled on this position. Karina's team has a similar gimmick to Ramos, though instead of running a move like Grass Knot, they go for one much scarier Power-Up Punch. All three of her Pokemon run it, and the one who gets the most out of it is definitely Hawlucha. It's incredibly fast with 118 base speed, and has an attack at base 92, and with the effects of Power-Up Punch, it'll see that attack get raised by a stage with each usage. At that point, Flying Press becomes a massive threat to anyone, as it has 80 base power, which will be bumped up to 120 by stab, and do flying type damage to the opponent. So even if you're planning to try and go at it with her using a flying type like Fletchinder, it won't go as easily as assumed. Hawlucha might be a massive threat here, but the other two Pokemon have their own ability to challenge you as well. Machoke runs Rock Tomb in an attempt to counter the flying types, and that 100 base attack stat would thrive with the Power-Up Punch boost. It can still be handled by a flying type more than likely, as its speed is only base 45, but there is some potential to take a hit and then deal back great damage thanks to the base 70 defense. You gotta remember, Karina is the third gym leader in the region, and thus having a Pokemon at level 28 with 70 base defense is actually pretty good. Mienfoo is definitely the easiest of her three Pokemon, but it runs Fake Out, which can be a real annoyance in battle. At the end of the day though, the real challenge is all with that Hawlucha, because it's equipped to kick some major butt in battle. Following Karina is the gym leader of the Lumio City Gym, the electric type tech whiz, Clement. When it comes to Clement being on this list, he's got two main things going for him that really put him here. His annoying is Hakimolga, and the high speed / special attack of his Heliolisk. His other Pokemon is a Magneton, and for some people, that could also be a bit of a challenge as well. It'll set up electric terrain, which Heliolisk would happily take advantage of, and a Rogue Mirror Shot has a chance to absolutely ruin the accuracy of whatever Pokemon you have out. I know what you guys might be thinking, but Mystic, all you need is a well-placed ground-type move. And it's as easy as that. I suppose in some ways, it could be that easy. However, the reality is that Emolga is a flying type, and thus can't be affected by ground type moves. And with Aerial Ace, it has a move that won't miss, so it can go toe-to-toe with ground types anyways. Magneton is the one that can really just be handled by a ground type move, though there are still things to look out for it, like I mentioned earlier. That Heliolisk though, it'll give you a hard time if you're not prepared. If you're out there with a ground type, it'll just use Grass Knot on you, and there's a good chance it'll get messed up. Really, you just need a good mix of a team to completely handle Clement without any snacks. There is no one Pokemon you can just turn to that'll make this the easiest battle ever. We have now reached the penultimate spot in this ranking, and it goes to the first ever Fairy type gym leader, Valerie. Her team may not be super threatening now, but back when the Fairy type was brand new and feeling incredibly empowered, it was truly a big deal. She brings to the battle a Mawile, Mr. Mime, and of course Sylveon. Now, the Mawile is a special case because it has that great typing, but no stab moves with the exception of Iron Defense, though that causes no damage. It has Crunch and Feint Attack, but really, what is that even there for? Psychic types wouldn't help you all that much against a bunch of fairy types, and even if you went in there with a ghost type to try and handle Mr. Mime, that won't make too much of a difference either. The Mawile seems like real wasted potential, but the other two Pokemon definitely make a formidable tandem. Mr. Mime has both of the Scream moves on its side, offering potential to really boost the defenses of both it and Sylveon. That same Mime has some great stab moves as well, with Psychic and Dazzling Gleam. So not only will it be able to set up its defenses enough to make it hard to quickly dispatch, but it will hit hard as well. Though if you make it past Mr. Mime, the true challenge will rear its head, Sylveon. Sylveon's special defense is base 110, and its special attack is base 130, so forget about trying to take it out from that side of things. You'll need to attack it on the physical end, and thus need to get your hands on a poison type or steel type move that's physical, like Iron Head or Poison Jab for example. Though even then, it does have Charm, which will lower a Pokemon's physical attack by 2 stages, thus giving it more room to take hits. Things would be a lot worse if this was a Sylveon with Pixelate, but thankfully it isn't, so the added threats of Swift and Quick Attack aren't really something you need to worry about. This is definitely a battle you can't particularly go autopilot on, and was very worth being at the top 2. Finally, we reach the strongest gym leader in Kalos, and those of you who have been paying attention know exactly who it is: Olympia, the 7th gym leader in the region and a user of the Psychic types. Her team is, when compared to the rest of the region, the scariest of all. She has a Sigilith, which I've featured on Best Teams before, a Slowking, and a Meowstic. The Sigilith she uses is dang good, with Air Slash and Psychic to attack with, and then Light Screen and Reflect to set up defenses, just like the Mr. Mime on Valerie's team. It's got Magic Guard as well, which is incredibly annoying and keeps you from being able to inflict a status element that causes damage. Its speed is fantastic at 97 base as well, so it's going to have a good chance of outspeeding. The Slowking and Meowstic are both in a great position to benefit from boosted defenses, but they've also got Calm Mind, which will really help them on another level. Slowking is already bulky, but adding Calm Mind in its Psychic and Power Gem, then it'll hit really hard. Then you've got Meowstic with Psychic and Shadow Ball, which will hit harder after your Calm Mind, and with base 104 speed, there's a good chance it too will outspeed many Pokemon. I don't need to say too much more about this team other than, on paper, they're definitely the scariest in the region, and in battle, they prove it by being a real challenge. Well, that'll do it for this one, as we've almost ranked every set of gym leaders in the franchise. So add that in with the Elite Four and Champion, and we're so close to the finish. We just have to rank the gym leaders in Sword and Shield from weakest to strongest, and we're ready to go. All of these have, of course, been my opinion, but I'm always interested in knowing what you guys think. So let me know down below. I'll be sure to check it out. If you enjoyed the video, why not leave a like and subscribe to my channel with notifications on, that way you never miss an upload. If you want to support me further, consider following my Twitch, where I stream all sorts of games from Pokemon to Fire Emblem to Zelda and much more. I also have an anime channel called MysticSage, where I do anime reviews, rankings, and countdowns. So if you're interested in that kind of content, go ahead and check that out as well. If you want to support me even further and gain cool perks, check out my Patreon. These lovely people have all given me their support over there, and I couldn't be more grateful to them. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I will see you in the future for more awesome Pokemon content.